At the height of his fame and wealth, Goddy Anabor, the publisher of the now-arrested Heart magazine, was the toast of Nigerian musicians and Lagos big girls because of his large pocket and eagerness to always splash the cash. Years later, the story has become very different as the former billionaire has become a shadow of himself. In this video, we will reveal how the very celebrated Lagos socialite fell from a state of grace to grass. This is Africa FHS. Kindly subscribe to our channel to support us as we continue to inform and entertain you. Once upon a time in Lagos, Nigeria, if you were holding an event without the presence of Goddy Anabor, your event was simply not up to standard. Anabor, who was recently have been rumored to be a taxi driver on the streets of Lagos, an allegation which he has denied, was said to have made his money from fraud. Born in Kano, northern Nigeria, Goddy hailed from Auchi in Edo State. He moved to the city of Osogbo in the southwestern part of Nigeria with his family at a young age. He would later move to Lagos, where he allegedly got into the life of internet fraud. When asked about his fraud background and how he made money, Goddy waxed philosophical, saying that fraud was not a crime. Rather, he collected from those who stole from his ancestors. In other accounts, however, he has denied his involvement in fraud altogether. His denial has been refuted by another popular Lagos socialite by the name Bishop Kayode Pella. Bishop Kayode Pella offered help to Goddy Anabor in his rehabilitation home when the socialite broke down. After making his first major cash stack, he invested the money by starting various businesses, which included Heart magazine, a romance soft-sell publication that gave the defunct Hints magazine a big run for its money. This magazine, along with its rival Hints, exposed many young Nigerians at the time to sex education. Goddy Anabor also founded a color printing business which was so big that he printed for top news companies in the country, including This Day newspaper, The Punch newspaper, and many other publications. He also had a security company and was among the pioneers in Nigeria, even though security guard companies had not yet become mainstream in the country. Aside from his security outfit, he was a big player in the real estate scene in Lagos. At one point, he was said to have had over 100 buildings registered in his name. But beyond all these companies, Goddy was rich in every sense of the word. In 1990, he revealed that he held over 3 billion naira at Equity Bank. That amount is equivalent to 70 billion naira or $70 million today. Yes, that was how rich he was. Goddy was so popular and respected that he was the only Nigerian socialite of that era who invited foreign ambassadors who were posted to the country to his wild parties. Nigerian women, especially Lagos big girls, who are today grandmothers and mothers, were absolutely crazy about him. He took care of his women and empowered them as well. Goddy had a retinue of babes as concubines, as it was said that he could camp a babe at the Sheraton Hotel without seeing her for 3 months because there were so many that were camped in various guest houses and hotels across the city of Lagos, and he was taking turns sleeping with them one after the other. So as one of his women, you needed to be patient and wait for your turn to get intimate with him in order to enjoy his riches. He was well loved at the Sheraton Hotel as he was the biggest individual customers and always had guests staying over at the hotel. He once paid a bill of 86 million naira for his guests at that particular hotel. Goddy was so big that he had a permanent room which incurred daily bills at the Sheraton in the 90s. Popular parties were not even complete without his presence. If he failed to attend your event, it was deemed as a flop. He was a big spender and could spend over 1 million naira in one swoop without blinking. One of the biggest stars of that era, Shina Peter, and another King Sunny Ade, were his favorites among the musicians. To his credit, he made a lot of men wealthy by taking them out of poverty. Not left out of his luggage were car dealers who also loved him. He drove the latest luxury cars and was always among the first to drive a new Rolls Royce in Nigeria whenever the manufacturers released one. Goddy had up to 59 cars in his garage, which included Bentleys, SUVs, and Rolls Royces. He was a complete big boy of the 1990s as he lived life extravagantly. Coming into the 2000s though, things suddenly began to change drastically for the Nigerian billionaire. And today, Goddy, who is now in his 60s, can only reminisce of the good old days, as all that he has now are memories of the lavish life that he had once lived and multiple women that he has slept with. He's now a shadow of himself as he struggles to pay his daily bills. All his hanger-ons, praise singers, girlfriends, side chicks, and even some of the men that he had helped to raise from poverty have abandoned him to his fate, except one that is known as Mike Biggie. Mike Biggie resides somewhere in the Akowonjo axis of Lagos and has rented an apartment for Goddy Anabor and also take care of his bills. This was a man who used to have properties in GRA Ikeja and Allen Avenue, the choicest parts of Lagos, Nigeria at the time. Many of these buildings were guest houses, but today he is now living at the mercy of his benefactor. All of his properties were sold off at a giveaway price, and this was due to the fact that his friends had knowledge of his financial condition, and so they leveraged on that to buy the properties at a ridiculously below market price. He also struggled with drug addiction, and as such, he was selling all his properties at a ridiculous price in order to feed into his addiction. His wife Antonia, who was known as a party animal, would also later abandon him as well as she moved with the kids to Europe. The obvious attraction for her, it seemed, was his money, so immediately he fell onto hard times, she disappeared to the United Kingdom with her children. They are still residents in the UK up to this day. In an interview in which he granted, Goddy himself alleged that his wife was part of his downfall and claimed that she had colluded with the managers of his business in order to steal him dry before running away to the UK when all the money had run out. This is such a sad tale for one of the richest and the most flamboyant men in Nigeria in the 1990s. And that is how we come to an end of the sad story of the life of Goddy Anabor. Thank you for joining us on this episode. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share and subscribe to our channel for more. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.